Biggie, can't you see? Sports on Tap. Here, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. Live from Studio J in Brunswick, Ohio. I'm Rob Travel. We have Josh Jeffy.
And that's it.
Ed Dick and Sean Duffy out on assignment today.
We had Ed call in. He's spending some family time with his sister who's moving to Ann Arbor, Michigan. But we appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule to call in.
Absolutely. And Sean, he's busy.
Sean is doing the good work.
Daddy calls, man.
Yeah, taking care of the wifey who's on amends with a busted up ankle. So
hopefully she's getting better.
Doing a good job there. So, it's just the two of us back at the good old days.
Yeah. Now, me and Josh, if you don't know the story, we did this probably.
More than likely they don't.
Well, yeah, probably not. But 15 years ago, was it 50?
No.
Probably that long.
No, it's been about 10 years ago.
Maybe 10.
Yep.
We were at a small studio in, what was that, a condo?
Yeah.
Or a townhouse?
Yeah, townhouse. My
the
first
orange
house.
studio. Josh thought the orange color was just a really nice color for our studio. So we were on pirate radio when really internet radio and podcasting wasn't that big, really,
at
all. So we would do our show and talk pretty much anything. Nothing was off topic. For that show.
Here's to give you an idea how far we've come or how long ago this was. We were taking instant messages.
Yeah, for questions.
Yep.
Yeah, that was instant messenger. Whatever happened to that, by the way?
I don't know.
Sad.
It went away. AOL Instant Messenger. It had a good run, though.
It did. It had a great run.
How about your Instant Messenger profiles?
That's
Put
right.
all kinds of cool stuff in there.
Very cool. But we're going to talk a little more Cavaliers basketball, give you our predictions. Also want to let you know, Friday I'll be interviewing the head coach of Cuyahoga Community College, Evan Agona, and we'll get that.
Baseball, Tri-C baseball.
Tri-C baseball. They went, I think, 49-12.
Unreal.
They made it to regionals and had probably one of the best years in their history. They were ranked 6th in the country when it came to junior college baseball, and Evan has turned that program around. So we're going to have him as a phone interview and get that up probably Friday or Saturday. So
it'll be
pretty
on
interesting.
NEOSportsInsiders.com.
Yeah, NEOSportsInsiders.com, and we'll have it on our YouTube, Facebook, and all over the place. But kind of interesting to see his thoughts on junior college baseball compared to Division 1, 2, 3. Because they have a challenge when you recruit, So I'm interested to hear what he has to say. But what a great year they had, and be interested to hear what he has to say.
I also will be getting back up on the NEO 6-pack of Random.
Boom.
It's been a few weeks there. It's been a lot going on the personal side of life lately, between the finals and jobs and all kinds of good stuff. So looking forward to getting that back up in action, and hopefully we'll be talking Sunday at Game 7.
So Sports on Tap's going to be pretty busy this week.
Yep.
If you want to get in touch with the show, we're on Twitter at SOT Podcast. We're on Facebook. Our YouTube page, we also archive, interviews, segments. It's also on NEOSportsInsiders.com, iTunes, Podomatic. We're all over the place. So if you have questions or want to email us to it, sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. So there's all the info you need to know. But right now, let's talk a little more about the Cavs, Josh. And it's interesting at a time when the playoffs, it's the finals, and you talk about players opting in and opting out. I was surprised. I didn't know that would happen right now, but Mo Williams opted into his contract.
Yeah, they're not official. It's just being reported.
Yeah, so reported by a few different sources that Mo Williams has opted in to his contract. Which it wasn't a huge salary. I think, obviously.
It's like 3.2, 2.3 million, something like that.
But, it's obviously a pretty impressive salary. But he opted in, and J.R. Smith, which to me was not a shock, opted out of his contract after the season, will be a free agent. And I think he opted out. Obviously, he took a little bit of a pay cut last year when he tried to be a free agent and realized his market wasn't amazing outside of the Cleveland Cavaliers, so he came back. And, I think that's a guy that realistically could re-sign with the Cavs, but he wants to test the market and see what's out there. So those are two guys. Mo opted in, JR opted out.
Well, I think with JR, I think it really will all depend on how the finals finishes out. Because to be honest, I mean, J.R. Smith, the past couple games, has really stepped up on the defensive end, and he's been a very valuable defender for the Cavs. But offensively, especially during the finals, last year and this year, not at the level you want to be at, especially for how we know J.R. Smith has been. It just seems like, especially the first few games of this series, that the bright lights of the finals were just a little too much for him. And even in the Cavs game 4 loss, he started off very well, but he really disappeared in the second half of the game. And that's something that you just can't do. I don't know if it's just, playing as good a defense as he is on Steph and Klay Thompson, that he just doesn't have the energy towards the end. I don't know what it is, but he really needs to prove that he's a valuable commodity for this team when it comes time to be a valuable commodity. And thus far, in my opinion, in the finals, he has not done that enough to warrant a multi-year deal with the Cavs.
Yeah, I think in the playoffs, in the Eastern Conference playoffs, I thought JR was really important. I thought he did great.
Yeah.
But again, in the finals to start, he hasn't been anywhere. 10 points last game, which is okay. He did have a 20-point game in the other win.
Yep.
But in the other 3 games, I mean, he was almost non-existent. And I think you need a player like him, especially when, the Cavs start getting down in games. I mean, if I'm the head coach, I'm at some point, we need to get you open. Get off some screens and start taking some shots. Don't be hesitant. Let him fly. Give him the green light and see if maybe that shakes the nerves. But we need a guy like J.R. Smith to start hitting those outside shots. That'll keep not only the defense honest, but start opening up other things for other players.
Yeah, and I think Ty Lue gives him the green light. I think J.R. Smith's had the green light all year round.
I'm sure.
He's proved in the regular season and in the Eastern Conference playoffs that he's able to hit those shots. It just seems like in this series he's a little tentative. Game 3 was really the only game thus far where he felt it looked like the old J.R. Smith, the J.R. Smith that we're used to. However, the rest of the series, not so much. Again, that's on the offensive end. J.R. Smith has been very valuable on the defensive end. Klay Thompson, in the last game, got his shots. He was going to get it. He was on fire. It was basically godlike what he was doing in that first half of the game. And there was really not much that J.R. Smith could do with that. You just got to tip your hat off to the guy. But he's playing decent defense. But on the offensive end, we're seeing J.R. Smith, like you said, hesitate on a shot, pass up shots. Game 3, when he was successful, he did a great job. He didn't settle for the 3. He went in, got a short mid-range jumper, and even took it to the hoop. And that's fine. He's taking it. It's a smart shot. But he's a sharpshooter. He's more of a sniper. And he's got to go. When he has the opportunity to shoot, you shoot it. You shoot the ball. And that's what he needs to do. I think he will do that Game 6. I think he's a little more comfortable at the Q than he is in Oakland. So I'm looking for a decent game from J.R. Smith coming up here tomorrow night.
Let's hope.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jeffy with his beautiful analysis.
Yeah, well, hey, I was on fire there.
You were.
I rattled
You
off.
got to go with it,
yeah,
man. And you did. You hit it out of the park.
Yep.
But I agree. J.R. Smith at home, it's a different story for him, and really a lot of the Cavs. So that's why in Game 6 the Cavs need to take advantage. Obviously, Draymond Green will be there, but other players have to step up. I know Shumpert, he's struggled a little bit this year. He doesn't look comfortable shooting the jump shot. His defense has been pretty good. Obviously, last game, I think he struggled a little bit, but they're going to need some other players to step up. And a guy like Mo Williams, when he opted in, it's nice that he opts in, and his salary's not very high. He had injuries this year, and I think that really, literally hurt him from the rotations, and he hasn't been able to get on track. His shot's been okay when he's been in the game, but defensively he's got to get a little bit better. And he's never been known for his defense, but offensively he's impressive, and he's a good guy off the bench.
Well, Mo Williams, it's good that he opted in because that's actually insurance because Matthew Dellavedova is an unrestricted free agent. And again, it all depends on what happens in this finals well, if the Cavs lose, you could see, like Ed said when he called in, major changes, starting with possibly Kevin Love, Matthew Dellavedova, who has really not had a very good series.
What do you think about Mozgov? He's also, I believe, a free agent.
He's another one, and
I mean, do you look to one guy, and I know nobody really likes him, but Bismack Biyombo is a free agent this year. He's probably going to want a little bit more money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he's a guy, in my opinion, that would somewhat fit the Cavaliers' offense. I mean, he doesn't request the ball a lot. Defensively, he blocks shots, give you rebounds.
I think he would help you more on the defensive end.
But he also proved that he's a high flyer.
Yep.
And we don't really need the center position to really score that much. And it's
no.
So that might not be a bad fit. And I think there's going to be some free agents out there. That'll be a whole nother segment. But
let's not talk about next year.
Because this year's still going on, and obviously, big game 6 coming up. Probably the biggest, I would say, in Cavs history. Last year obviously was big, but I don't know if we had the feeling like we have this year. We have our full team intact. And it's a weird feeling,
yes.
But I don't feel bad about it, though.
No,
I thought I would.
Here's the thing. And this is what, as a Cavs fan, I'm speaking as a fan now, I really don't want that team, the Warriors, to celebrate on my floor again. This is the third time that the Cavs have been in the finals. The previous 2 times, the opposing team celebrated on our floor. And I just don't want that anymore. I mentioned earlier about the Cavs being a soft team mentally. And I didn't think that they would come out with it on Game 5, and they did. Well, I'm still under a kind of wait and see on what they're like when they come out. And it all starts with LeBron. And I think the game that Kyrie had is a building block towards his stardom that will eventually turn into one of the top 10 players in the league, hopefully, for the Cavs' sake. But I want to see how they react to that. Do they go back to what didn't work? Do they maybe pass the ball a little bit more? Do they all have that fire like LeBron had, and how the whole team did in Game 5? Do they have that again? Because Golden State is going to come out. They're ready to go. The Cavs have to match that, and the Cavs need to set the tone. And I think it's, I agree with you, Rob. This is one of the biggest games in Cavaliers history, and to be at the Q, that place is going to be
rocking.
Yes.
So if you're going to the game, Quicken Loans Arena, for Game 6 of the Cavs and Warriors, you have got to bring your A game.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to hear it so loud where Steph Curry, spits out his mouthpiece and chews on it and cries, and Draymond Green cries. I want to see all the Warriors just like, wow, this place is crazy. I mean, you have got to be loud. And really, Richard Jefferson in an interview, they feed off the Cavalier fans. Maybe, if the other team goes on a little bit of a run, the Cavs fans can really bring the players out of it and get them rocking and rolling too. So they feed off of it, be loud, and let's make this happen. Let's make history as Cavs fans. Now, Josh, before we take a break here, predictions for Game 6. Cavaliers-Warriors Finals, Game 6, tomorrow night, 9 p.m.
It's been, it's been an up and down roller coaster of a series. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. You watch the games, you get frustrated. To be honest with you, I don't know.
There's a lot of storylines here, I feel
I don't know. That's what I've been talking about. I don't know what Cavs team is going to come out. If I get the Cavs team that came out like in Game 5, behind the home crowd, get some home cooking in the gym, I think the Cavs can win. However, if they come out flat, Golden State comes out with that fire that the Cavs had, then it could be a long game and season over. It's very tough. I just don't know which Cavs team is going to come out. But I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to say the Cavs win in a close game. Take it to Game 7. We move going back to Cali.
Going back to Cali. Well, my prediction, I'm going to stay positive as well. I'm an optimist. Everyone says that. They're like, Rob, you are an optimistic person, and I like that. I think the Cavaliers have learned a lot from this series. I still think, it's going to be an absolute battle. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they're great players. Golden State's just an overall tough team. Draymond Green's back, but I think the Cavaliers are going to come out firing, in front of the home crowd. How exciting would it be to go to a Game 7? And I think the Cavaliers are going to pull out a pretty close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It could be a Cavaliers blowout. Either way,
that would be better.
I would like
that would be better for my heart.
Yes, it would. But I think it's going to be a close game, and I could see the Cavaliers winning and going back to Cali, Game 7.
Hey, I like it.
All right, there it is. We're going back to Cali. We're Sports on Tap. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk Cleveland Indians baseball. The Tribe is down right now, 2-0. Corey Kluber getting hit just a little bit, but they're one game in front of the Kansas City Royals. Will that change tonight? We'll talk about it. Coming back, we're Sports on Tap, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network.
For the best coverage of Cavs, Indians, and Browns, check out NEOSportsInsiders.com. NEOSportsInsiders.com brings you breaking news, opinions, and video from all things related to your favorite Cleveland sports teams. Like us on Facebook and follow at NEO Sports Insiders on Twitter for live updates from all the games. NEOSportsInsiders.com, bringing you the best in Northeast Ohio sports coverage.
Can't wait for the next Sports on Tap podcast to drop? Then stay connected with us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at SOT Podcast and like our page at Facebook.com/SOT Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to Sports on Tap on YouTube and iTunes and email us at sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out Josh Jeffy's 6-pack of random and our full show archives on NEOSportsInsiders.com. Sports on Tap is your source for local high school sports talk in Northeast Ohio. Hear from your favorite teams, coaches, and players, and stay up to date with all the high school action no matter the season. Catch Sports on Tap live on Mixlr or find past shows archived on NEOSportsInsiders.com, SportsOnTapPodcast.podomatic.com, and on iTunes and YouTube. Sports on Tap, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. Join Sports on Tap for live broadcasts at Z's Cream and Bean on the first Thursday of every month from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Come see the faces behind the voices you hear on the podcast and hear from local athletes and coaches about their teams, seasons, and conferences. Enjoy delicious ice cream and milkshakes and join in on the fun at Z's Cream and Bean, 2706 Boston Road in Hinckley. The Sports on Tap podcast, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network.